Alrighty, welcome gentle gamers to the MTG Greybeard. I'm having a pretty fun run with the Edge of Night in my blue-black zombie deck. Let's have a look at this singleton deck. Apologize for having to mute the sound. My game ran over into dinner time in game 2. And that was another game I was not quite sure I was going to win. My opponent had both Lolth and the Professor Onyx card. I had Professor Onyx and I somehow prevailed. I'm wondering if I should have put in a pop quiz or had some more learning options. So that's low on the mana curve in this deck. I got a little bit of counter, a little bit of bounce, a little bit of tappy downy. Suspicious Stowaways, just such a neat card. I put in some non-zombie stuff. Ludovic Necrogenous, I'm not even sure if I know how to use this guy. XL cards out of the graveyard to transform him. I know I just love getting cards in the graveyard. Like if I sacrifice my hobbling zombie. I'm expecting a lot of things to die or get removed. Curious to know if you have any changes you would suggest. This is the first deck I've ever made with snow-covered lands. The MTG Greybeard is a regular guy playing Magic. I'm getting back into the game in my old age, years later after having played in the 90s as a kid. And I'm still kind of new to it. This is only my, this is kind of the end of my second month playing on Arena. I played through the entire Midnight Hunt season. Ended up with Platinum in Standard and Diamond Tier in, what do you call it, in Limited. So I feel like I'm getting better, but you know, I'm just a regular dude. I'm not a pro. I'm not a professional streamer or anything like that. Probably making lots of mistakes, and I invite my viewers to correct me on any errors of judgment I might be making in either the design of my decks or in the choices I'm making during play. Is this guy going to get removed? He is. Play the zombie. Still just holding up the eye twitch. I'll have Ebon Death out next turn. Is it nighttime? I guess I'll do the Midnight Ambush to get rid of that nasty Werewolf Pack Leader. Now, do I want to hold up the counter spell here or just cast an eye twitch? I think I'll hold up the counter spell. It'd be really fun to counter something significant my opponent's about to play. Like Asika's Chariot. That is a good spell to counter. Take that. Glad I didn't cast the eye twitch. It's one of the things about my Magic game that I really needed to learn was the patience to hold up a counter spell. You know, your instinct is to just play all your cards right away, but you gotta keep them a little closer to the vest. I'm coming to learn. In my Tasha's Hideous Laughter deck, which you may have seen, you can see that on my feed. A lot of the time I'm too eager to cast the kill spell right away when I should be waiting until I can double it. Now it's going to be fun to block with the eye twitch and then use Village Rites. I'm not sure if that's really the best spell for this deck, but I feel like it suits the zombie theme. I'm going to have lots of sackable stuff. So if they attack with the Old Growth Troll, I'll be able to block. Oh, they got Ren and 7. But how are you stopping my flyers? I guess I'll cast the Village Rites on the zombie here. And now I can do a lot with my wizard class. I wonder what I'm going to draw. I guess I'll hold up the eye twitch here. I'm not too worried about Ren and 7's +1 or 0 effect. So I'll just smack with the Drac. Oh, do they have a creature with reach? Oh, I wasn't thinking about that. Oops. I'm looking at this token creature. Well, that's my mistake. So in order to play the Dracolich, I just need to have something die. So I guess I can sacrifice the Eye Twitch to the Awakener. Oof. Oh, but he's got a gold span. Do I just take the hit from that? Oh, I just realized one of the mistakes I did make with this deck. I forgot to put Introduction to Annihilation in with my lessons. That's a big mistake. Alright, so what do I want? Do I want to draw some cards? Oof. Oh, I feel like I've made some big mistakes this game. I feel silly. Now my opponent will have more cards, so I can at least draw 2. I'll be able to attack with a Death Touch creature every turn. Oh, I forgot to hold up mana to cast Ebon Death. That was silly of me. Love to hear your thoughts on different decisions I might have made. Now, do I block or do I just take these hits? Do I block and make a treasure with my Shambling Ghast? I think I want to keep my creatures available to use the Reaper's Talisman. Oof. Oh, I'm glad they're only attacking with the one dragon. And the Opportunist is a good thing to have right now. Well, let's start with the Hoarder. So I'm attacking with the Ghast, which is going to get me my Reaper's Talisman bonus. I guess I want to just advance Warlock class here. Need to leave at least one creature alive. And then if I can, if I got enough mana, save my treasure. Oh, I don't even need the Warlock class. I just attack with a Reaper's Talisman and they die. Provided I don't die in their attack. So I need to block the 8/8, and I'll be taking 9 damage. That I can handle. 8/8 doesn't have trample, so unless they got something to give their guy trample. Oof, it gains trample. Oh, so I gotta block with 2 dudes, don't I? So I block the 5, I'm taking 7. Oh, 8. 16. Oh, so if I block the 5, I'm okay? If I block the 5, I'm taking 7 plus 9 is 16. Let's see how this goes. Do they have some other pumper? They should have casted 2 Unnatural Moonrises. Oh, but... Oh, Tovolar's got that ability. Good game. Well, I bet there was a way I could have won that game, having gotten my opponent down to 1. Love to hear your thoughts on where I made that fatal mistake. Given that I won a couple of games I maybe didn't deserve to win already, I guess I'm happy with my performance in this tournament so far. I am hoping to get one more win so that I can get the 3 cosmetic maximum. Would be really happy to get a max win run on this, because I haven't gotten a max win run on Edge of Night, and that would just make me feel confirmed in my ability to brew up decks for these silly events. Now this time I got swamps and no islands. Oh, but I do have an island. I've got a Jawari Disruption. An Ebon Death on the way. These modal dual face cards sure are nifty, aren't they? Nice to have Wizard class in one's opening hand. So this Necrogenous dude, he gets counters when I exile dudes out of the graveyard and transform him. Let's go ahead and pull out this nice hefty 2/3 body. Oh, and I can exile the Morbid Opportunist out of the graveyard when I transform him. I don't like that ramp. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Play my Wizard class, hit you for 2. I don't want to see a third turn Asika's Chariot or nothing like that. So I can hold up this counterspell and play Dracolich with Flash on my opponent's turn. Werewolf Pack Leader, that ain't no good. I invite my opponent to cast a spell that costs 4. Surely they're going to have a land to play. Jordy Mac. Have I faced this opponent before? The name rings a bell. Yeah, that Rumbling Bailout, I'm going to disdainfully stroke that. Stroke you with much disdain. Which delays the arrival of my Dracolich, but that's okay, because I just stopped you. Now I'm going to cast the Dracolich, because I want to start raining skeletal death upon my opponent. How soon am I going to be able to exile X creature cards? I guess I could do that next turn and transform Ludovic Necrogenous into Olog Ludovic's Hubris. Oh no. Oh no, Gigantosaurus. That just ain't okay. They don't trample at least, right? Well. Suppose, do I want to use the Startle? That'll help me draw a card. This will just draw me 2 cards, though. I'm desperate enough, I think I just want to go ahead and draw 2. Falcon Abomination's another flyer, but with the Giganto out, I just want a blocker. Goodness. What set's that from? I just see the Arena logo. I'm still kind of confused about what cards are included in Standard or allowed in a singleton game. Well, better block here. Sorry, Ludovic. We barely knew you. Very steampunk kind of a guy. Oof. Definitely blocking the Necrogenous. Well, the Falcon Abomination's gonna let me block. They have to block with their spider here. Now on my turn I'll be able to cast the Dracolich, but I think I'm gonna hold up now. So they'll attack, I'll block, and my Falcon Abomination will die, provided they don't have any other tricks. Any kind of combat trick will win it. But yeah, I don't think Startle's the ticket. I think I want to get Evan Death back out, so I'll throw the Falcon at the Giga. Gigantosaurus, what a silly card. You're getting a lot of draw. Well, making a desperate play here. I'm definitely hoping to draw a blocker. And I didn't. Welp. That's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. So I'm going to put the talisman on the zombie. Next to combat, I'll attack with the zombie, get 2 life back. I can startle the werewolf pack leader so that it doesn't kill Ebondeath, and take 11 damage from the Gigantosaurus. That is provided they don't have some kind of a trick? Or do I want to just block and let Dracolich die? And then just cast him again. Got 6 mana. Oh, but I just lost one, so I definitely have to block the Gigantosaurus. So I'll block the Gigantosaurus. I'll startle the pack leader. I'll draw another card. And then I'll cast Dracolich out of the graveyard. Oh, but it's only if a creature not named Eboneth died that turn. Things are not looking so good for old Mr. Ted here. At least I can cast Deadly Dispute on my Reaper's Talisman. Do I have anything that just drains life? I need something that just drains life in this deck, I guess. Wow, and put 2 counters. I don't like that. Oh, but there's my win. Because I got that zombie out of the startle. So I'm going to block you, 1 blocker. I'm just not even going to mess around and cast Deadly Dispute right now. Hook up the talisman to my zombie. Next to combat, I'll attack. And that's game. Good game. Whew, that was a close one. That was a nasty dinosaur, and I didn't have a power word kill for it. Well, here we are. I've won my 3 cosmetics. Now can I earn my money back in the gold investment? 3 wins. I'd love to have a max win run just to make a cool video and feel good about my improvement, but this is an elimination game against Urza's Power. Leave me a comment if you're looking forward to the Brothers War set, by the way. That's one of the ones I'm most excited about. You know, I was playing back in the days of antiquities. I used to own a Candelabra of Tawnos, which I sure wish hadn't disappeared over the years, because that would be worth $1,000 bucks. Well, the way I keep my cards, maybe not quite $1,000 bucks, but yeah, I just had a couple of binders full of cards disappear when I was in my 20s. That was a bummer. That was a lot of value in there. Siege Zombie. Wouldn't it be fun to get out my Blade Stitch Scab and have a little zombie Lord tribal situation going? A Dungeon Crawl I just threw in here because it's a 1-cost zombie. I don't think I'm going to be completing a dungeon anytime soon. I don't think I have any cards on this deck that complete a dungeon, but what can you do? I love that Celestis sleeve. That's such a cool sleeve. Holding up in Olivia's midnight ambush, so it's in my interest to keep at night. Trips me out that there's enchantments with flash now. Oh, now we have this dude. Flash, first strike, protection from god creatures. Well, Sigrid, god favored, you do not have. You do not have protection from Olivia. So you're going to be leaving the battlefield. Olivia is not a god creature. Olivia is not even a creature, really. I mean, Olivia's midnight ambush isn't a creature. Sigrid, huh? Out of Kaldheim. Bereaved Survivor, Code Spell Cleric. We got ourselves a white weenie deck. That's what they called it way back in the day, the white weenie deck. Hobzomb. I'll attack with my Shambling Ghast. And my Dungeon Crawler, well, it's not coming back. I can use the Siege Zombie ability to poke him for 1 damage if I want. Even if I do block with the Hobzomb. Ooh, Icing Death. Gnarly. Well, I'm poking him with the Siege Zombie. Now, Icing Death has Vigilance, so my Ray of Frost isn't going to tap it because it's not red. Oh, they're just going to let him through. I'm surprised. Now, they don't know that I can Ray of Frost one of their dudes. Oh, I don't like that. But I do have a Ray of Frost, which is going to make it lose all abilities. Surprise! So you can't give Icing Death double strike. How is that going to impact your strategy? Blade Historian. I kind of want to make a Lord Hold deck so that I have an excuse to use him. Never pulled him in a Strixhaven draft. Wouldn't that have been fun, though? So I can poke with the Siege Zombie. I'm not going to win the race with the Siege Zombie alone. Death Priest of Merkel's a pretty fun dude to pull right here. Because now, when I attack with the Hobzomb and the Shambling Ghast, they've got enough juice to kill your dude. Oh, the math is so interesting on this one. Leave a comment if you disagree about the aggressive choice I just made here. If they block the Shambling Ghast, or any of those dudes with Icing Death, the Shambling Ghast can do the -1/-1 to finish Icing Death off. I'm not sure if Icing Death is a he or a she. Oh, but you can deal 5 damage to my attacking Hob Zomb. Now, is this going to happen before? Oh. I got that wrong. I thought that I was going to be able to just, oh well. Oops. I don't know if that means they win. Dancing Sword. That's going to make Icing Death more nasty. That's for sure. Good game. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. I got max wins in this singleton event with my blue-black zombie deck of all things. I didn't think the zombie was the strongest archetype, but that's the one that got me through. I tried red-blue, I tried white-green, I got 2 or 3 wins. But finally, the max win run. Ludovic Necrogenous. Oh, is that the only cosmetic I had left to get? I didn't think I had a Sigarda or an Arlen or whatever. I guess I do. Well, there you have it. Thanks for sticking around to watch the MTG Greybeard. A regular guy who sometimes surprises the competition.